It's Big 12 Radio, Big 12 Today, heard on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios, and we are so pleased to be joined right now by one of the key pieces to the number one team in the nation, the undefeated Arizona Wildcats. Tobe Awaka is joining us here on Big 12 Radio. Good morning, Tobe. How are you?
Morning.
How's it going? How's the season going?
Going well. Appreciate you guys having me on.
You had like 25 points the other night, right?
Yeah, that was, I believe, Wednesday, Arizona State.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I think my teammates just did a great job of finding me in the right spots. You know, it was just one of those days where shots were falling and I felt good. And, yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of times you look at your stat line and you see the rebounding and the blocks, the physicality you play with, and maybe, it's one of those you put people on notice. Like, yeah, by the way, I could score too. I could knock down threes. I could shoot. I could score some points.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I just try to affect the game in any way I can. So, for me, it might not always be rebounds, blocks, or, defensive plays. It might be scoring 15 one day or having 15 rebounds another day, 5 blocks another game, So I try to be adaptive and sort of versatile in the way that I approach the game, game in and game out.
Tobe, I think when people watch you play, they see this big physical rebounding machine who can score it and do a bunch of different things. Man, I know you're incredibly intelligent and impressive off the floor, too. Nate was telling me that you interned on Wall Street. Is that right? And what was that experience like? What's your major? Like, what are you doing off the court?
Yeah, so I'm in the Eller Business School right now. My concentration is business administration. I'm really interested in finance and investing. So I had a great opportunity to go on Wall Street on a hedge fund, sort of shadow their top portfolio manager and just see the ins and outs of what life is like over there. But it was super cool. I got to learn a lot, get some sort of real-time experience, and kind of sort of bring school and merge it with the real world and see how they operate over there. So it was really cool.
Man, that's awesome. That's big time. And your rebounding numbers are insane. You're a numbers guy, all right? So if you're a numbers guy, you're rebounding like 30% of available misses, which is number one in the country according to KenPom.
It was a ridiculous number.
Like, are you one of these analytical guys when it comes to rebounding, like where if a shot's attempted in the corner, it's most likely to miss on the other side of the basket? Like what all goes into being such a dominant rebounder?
Honestly, stats are never really a big emphasis for me when I'm playing. I kind of find it harder to play when I'm focusing on stats, seeing how many rebounds I can get in this, spurt of 3 minutes. Like, I can't really focus and play like that. Honestly, it's just something I've been doing for a while, and sort of it's helped me carve out a role within college. So I think I've put more emphasis on it, but I just kind of, try to play as free as possible once I step in the court. But I think one thing that has helped is knowing how individual teammates miss in certain positions. So, for instance, Jaden Bradley, whenever he shoots threes, his threes sort of miss, more so long, I would say. And then a guy like Deli, if he misses, it's like bouncing around the rim. So just kind of like knowing your personnel, and it might be different if they're shooting from the corner than from the top of the key. So like that kind of stuff I've kind of keyed into a little bit.
Feels like a good thing for a guy like with the offensive rebounding numbers that Tobe has to know, on the offensive end how his teammates, may miss if they do miss. That's a great insight there from Tobe Awaka.
You sound like Dennis Rodman from The Last Dance, because he would study the odds of where a shot was taken, where it's most likely to bounce off of the rim, and that sounds kind of like what you're talking about. That's impressive.
So, yeah. I think I saw that during the pandemic, that clip for sure. But I think just being with these guys over the summer, you get so used to their tendencies, how they play. You just kind of get a good feel of just the shots they're going to shoot, where they're coming from, and where they're going to bounce off eventually.
When Arizona as a team, I mean, this is a good rebounding, a great defensive team, and a team that wins by scoring in the paint. It's kind of interesting that feels like that's a huge part of your game. I mean, do they, just, I guess, give us a sense here of the emphasis. Is it just that's the style you guys play with because it fits the personnel you have? Just curious because obviously you in many ways personify the style Arizona plays with and wins with this year.
I would say it's a little mix of both. I think Coach Lloyd, that's, he's known as an offensive coach, but he loves, tough guys that can get it done inside. If you look at his personnel throughout his years at Gonzaga and, now at Arizona, he's always had, sort of strong big guys that can get it done inside. Umar Ballo of the past, Zealous Tubelis, previously. And then I think, honestly, Big Mo Creevers is a big, facet of what we do. I feel like sometimes he doesn't get his flowers the way that he should, but I think he's one of the best bigs in the country. He's 7'2", skilled, and the way that he can move for a guy his size with the touch around the rim. I think he's really a staple of what we do and how we play. So I think honestly, all that anchors with him.
Tobe, how much do you work on your three-point shooting in practice? Because you've only taken 6 this year, but you've made 4. You're 4 for 6, 67% from beyond the arc, and you've made your last 3. 2 against Utah. You hit 1 the other night. Where has that come from?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been working on for a good while here. Just sort of trying to refine it, get it better. And honestly, it's just been repetitions, working at it. And then sort of implementing it in practice. Coach has seen that I've gotten better at it. He's sort of giving me the green light to shoot, when the time is right. So it's just been something I've been working on. I'm trying not to. I'm still trying to sort of lean on what I'm good at. My strengths. Not let the 3-point shot take over or anything like that. But obviously, to play at the next level, you have to show that you can sort of extend your range a little bit. But obviously, on this team right now, we have plenty of guys that can shoot threes and do all that. So I'm just trying to make sure I can maximize my role where I can make the biggest impact. But if they come, they come for sure.
Apologies about that, Tobe Awaka joining us here. This team looks, like they're very connected, lots of great chemistry, and it's obvious on the floor. Like, is this a team that likes to hang out? What do you guys like to do off the floor? And, can you just kind of speak to the team's chemistry?
Yeah, I think we have a group of guys that really like each other genuinely. I think we have great character, from the top down. And, guys will always do stuff together, whether it's like game night at a teammate's house. Guys love playing video games. 2K is a big one. So, yeah, we always find time to sort of hang out with each other, whether it's just getting a meal after practice. Ping pong is pretty big after practice now in the locker room, so guys will stick around watching each other play. So I think it's been, I think we all like each other for sure, but it's been natural, it's been genuine, nothing forced or anything like that. So I think that's been really cool to see.
Who's your go-to team on 2K?
I don't really play 2K. They
Okay.
do. I'm not really a big 2K player. I used to play the college football game, pretty heavy, but ever since September, I've really stopped. I haven't really played too much.
You're a little busy. You're a little busier this time of year.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're heading to Tucson, what's the number one spot that we have to hit in Tucson, Arizona?
Baja Cafe, the breakfast place. I think that place is unbelievable. I've gone there many times. It never disappoints. So if you guys are stopping in Tucson, that's definitely a place to stop.
How about Dirtbags? I've heard Dirtbags is the spot to go.
I think I've been to Dirtbags once since I've been in Tucson. It was an interesting experience for sure. But yeah, I'll probably leave it at that.
Tobe, you're the best. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're fun to watch. Motor that doesn't quit. Your team's fun. You're fun, man. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, Tobe.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
Tobe Awaka joining us here on Big 12 Radio, one of the fiercest rebounders. I mean, and yeah, you hate to mention Dennis Rodman because when you think about, non-traditional posts that rebound at that level, you think Dennis Rodman, but that's a great comp. I mean, he's got a motor that doesn't stop, and whether it's blocking shots, rebounding, and he said it himself, like whatever the team needs him to do is what he's going to do.
And that's the way he plays. I mean, he can go out and score 25 if you need him to. He can grab 15 rebounds if that's his role. He's an underrated passer. But the rebounding stuff was fascinating to me because I do believe there's an art to it. You get to this level, everybody's big and tall and has wingspans. But Tobe Awaka, who's 6'8", leads the country in rebounding percentage. 30% of all shots are rebounded by him.
Just insane.
And that's all shots. That's not
right
offensive rebounds. That's where he's even better. So he's got this hit first 255-pound frame, but then it's leverage, it's timing, it's knowing where the ball is most likely to come off the rim based off of who on his team is shooting. Just really impressive stuff. High-level athlete.
Yeah. Arizona 18-0. They will play on Wednesday night at home against Cincinnati, and then this weekend West Virginia at home. Before at BYU and then at Arizona State next week. So, a couple of home games here for Arizona this week to try to get to 20-0 before at BYU on a week from tonight.
26th, yep.
At BYU,
yeah.
A week from tonight. Should be fun.
Big Monday.
All right, great work as always from our production team with Big 12 Studios led by Anthony Smith. Great work as always from our producer here at TuneIn, T-Chains, Taman Turner. Thanks to James Westling. I am R.A. Tepkin. This show has been presented by Modelo here on this Modelo Monday. Have a great MLK Day. Enjoy the national championship tonight. We're back tomorrow to recap it, plus get you ready for Tuesday Night Hoops. That's all on tomorrow's show. For James Westling, I am R.A. Tepkin. Big 12 today. It's back tomorrow, but for now we're out. Peace.
Hammond going to